Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rose Wrights and I write and narrate Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction. If you enjoy this series, please consider subscribing. It would really help me out a lot, and I'd love to get to 30 by the end of this week. If you missed Chapter 1, I will link it in the description box below. Without further ado, please enjoy I Carry Your Heart, Chapter 2. Breathe in, breathe out. Just relax, Marinette. She opened her mouth and then... A lyric soprano timbre bounced around the voice studio. Marinette's dress bodice rose and fell as her diaphragm kept her sound supported. She got through half a verse before her voice instructor held up a hand. Miss Dupin Chang. Not bad, but have you been practicing enough? The intimidating man towered over her, being a staggering 6'5", while she was barely 5'2". Yes, sir. At least 2 or 3 hours a day. She didn't dare bring up her dual degree. The music department was like a shark tank. It's eat or be eaten. Go big or go home. Literally. And that wasn't part of Marinette's plan. Her voice instructor appeared displeased with her response. For your repertoire, that isn't nearly enough. Add an extra hour and see how you fare. Mostly, you're just tense. The jaw, you're clenching something awful. Your jaw should move down and back, but you're jutting it forward. He modeled the correct shape of the mouth. Makes sense, yeah? Marinette took notes in a Word document on her laptop and nodded timidly. Good. You're doing fine. He opened the door for her to exit. Watch yourself sing in the mirror. She gave one last nod. Thank you, sir. Off she went. She now had to meet with her recital accompanist. At the end of each semester, a massive recital took place, and Marinette would be singing Una voce poca fa by Rossini. As she walked down the busy corridor brimming with other music students, sounds of violinist tuning mixed with piano chords cascaded down the hall. Marinette's heart filled with happiness. Here we are, room 103. Strange. It sounds like someone is already here, practicing. The door creaked open as she attempted not to disturb the pianist. Suddenly, at the sound of the door, the music stopped. Oh, hi, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. Marinette offered an awkward wave. I was supposed to be meeting Mrs. Bustier for preparation for the recital. Her eyes settled on the lanky blonde boy at the piano bench. Oh, he was handsome. Emerald eyes that pierced through her, golden skin that donned a pink blush on his face. You must be Marinette. Her eyes grew wide at the mention of her name, but she had never met this boy in her life. She would definitely remember that striking gaze. Yes, I am. How did you... She hesitated. She didn't want to appear rude if he knew her, and she just didn't remember him. How embarrassing. Mrs. Bustier is sick, so the voice department reached out to the piano department, so here I am. I am taking over a few of her voice students to lighten her load. He gave her a sparkling smile that nearly made her knees go weak. My name is Adrien. Adrien Agreste. He reached out to shake her hand, and she took it carefully. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Adrien. She smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners, sending Adrien's heart aflame. Of course, my pleasure. He struggled to keep his voice even. She placed her binder on the piano's music stand. Adrien glanced over it, running through the fingerings of the intro. Marinette couldn't help but notice his long, slender fingers as they slipped over the keys. Il Barbiere di Sevilla by Rossini. The music from this opera is gorgeous. The two young musicians exchanged smiles. I know, right? This song has been on my bucket list ever since I was an undergrad. It's my favorite. He admired the way her eyes lit up with a passion for her craft. He possibly stared a little too long. Her dark hair flowed down to the middle of her back, her red dress bringing out the rose undertones in her porcelain skin. "Shall we begin?" Her bell-like voice rang through his ears. "Yes, of course." He turned back to the piano, flustered, and began to play. She came in measures later, and Adrien's breath caught in his throat. It was the single most beautiful sound he had ever heard. They performed in a way that would make Dion and Bocelli jealous. It was easy as breathing. They made the perfect partnership. Marinette performed the final cadenza, the notes bouncing around the small room, as Adrien released the final chord. He turned to face Marinette. "That was amazing!" He stared at her, eyes wide and stunned at the incredible control of her voice, the soaring B-flats which rang across the acoustic panels. She rubbed the back of her neck nervously. "Thanks, Adrien. I still have a lot of work to do, though. My melismas aren't nearly as clean as I would like them." He could tell she was a hard worker. He had to muster up the courage. He could do this. The worst thing she could say was no, right? Hey, what are you doing after this? Would you like to grab a coffee later with my bro Nino and me?" He struggled to keep his breathing even. This was Marinette, whom he'd been crushing on for months. Her eyes lit up. "Sounds great. I haven't hung out with anyone in so long. I've been busy lately, which I'm sure you know all about. I'll meet you in the university cafe in 30 minutes. Is there room for one more?" "The more the merrier," he remarked, smiling brightly. With a sigh of relief, he could relax. Today was going to be a great day. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked what you heard, please give this video a big like and subscribe. Also, drop a comment below. If you don't know what to comment, say "Singing with Marinette." Thanks so much, and as always, stay miraculous.